If truly existence was absurd, then by what method do you propose to attempt to persuade anyone of such a claim? If there is no meaning, then by what means do you expect to convey your argument? Clearly by no absolute could you do this, no sense of syntax or reason. Such could only exist in a meaningful universe. What presupposition must be acknowledged beforehand so the attempt is not foolhardy? And since we're on the subject, whence is the passion to persuade for the man of no meaning? No, my dear absurdist, your very attempt to convince me of life's absurdity is to concede that there is objective meaning, and that both you and I can be aware of it. Absurdism finds its meaning in denying meaning. Oh, the perils accounted by Nietzsche are dutifully acknowledged. The man rightfully saw that all too often wise men create meaning out of their own desires, and then search for evidence for such claims after they have already affirmed with full conviction the truthfulness of their illusion, whereby they enshrine their view within the deepest catacombs of their own subliminal rhetoric. Such insight is not to be slighted. Proof via the affirmation of the consequent is truly the life stream of any ideologue, and indeed, any idiot. Any man, woman, or child of wit could see that what we take as ourselves is an illusion, and ergo, the necessary drives that result from such subscription, that maintain such an illusion, are equally illusionary. Any child of humanity could see that any sense of self that could be perceived in his own mind is indeed not himself, just as he could perceive his arms, his feet, his navel, and say with confidence that these are not himself either. We are not such things because we can perceive them. And just as a taste bud will never quaff its own flavor, as an olfactory receptor will never experience its own bouquet, or as a nerve ending will never feel its own form, the ultimate perceiver will never be perceived. The only true notion of self is such a perceiver, and such a notion requires no absurd sense of meaning that is created after subscribing to an absurd sense of self. This notion of self, the ultimate perceiver, allows for all pragmatic endeavors to be experienced for the raw endeavor itself, and not as some episode thought to affirm the idiot's view of the world as he saw fit to superimpose. Thereby, with the right view, the absolute order of things is allowed to be expressed in even the most mundane endeavor, as it is our nature to do so when we are not weighed down by our own delusions and sideshows. Thereby, we participate in the very essence of existence itself, in any task, no matter how commonplace. The experience of such is all-satisfying. How could it not be? Strife, frustration, anger, sorrow, such feelings result from constructed senses of self. The marionette with the sad face painted on his mouth ought to be sad during the production. Reason dictates it so. What of the marionette, that with which you identify yourself? With what face has it been painted? Trust to reason that you will not fail to manifest the necessary absurdity to fulfill the marionette's role. And what of the puppeteer? Is it not the puppeteer that interprets the environment of his marionette and dictates the marionette's movement, taking into account both the nature of the marionette's character and the situation in which it is involved, in such a form that aligns with the puppeteer's own sense of reason? The blessing of reason through such a delusion is truly the nature of hell itself. It is by reason that strife results where strife is called for, but it is by absurdity that such self-destructive action is so dutifully maintained.